Friends and patriots, welcome and good evening to you. My name is Ajuri Ingilale, and I come to you from the nation's capital. This is Eagle Eye. On this edition of the program, we take you all access into the site of a project which had been serially promised but unaccomplished over the past 4 decades. That is the long-awaited Second Niger Bridge, straddling Anambra and Delta states. We dig deep into the work sector with other critical matters on the table, such as the new national tolling policy, amongst many others, in our incisive conversation with the Honorable Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola, later on this edition of Eagle Eye. Given the extensive on-site content in this edition, we will present our briefing memoranda on subsequent editions of the program. Without further ado, let's head to the intersection between the nation's southeast and south-south geopolitical zones in the southeastern state of Anambra. Commissioned by the late Prime Minister of Nigeria, Alhaji Tafawa Balewa, before the Christmas holiday in December 1965, the first River Niger Bridge was a marvelous symbol of African ascendancy in an era that saw the continent moving swiftly out of colonial domination and into independence, representing also for this young nation a unifying link between East and West. But it was drastically outgrown over decades by an exponential expansion of Africa's largest population. For over 40 years, calls for a new alternative were ignored. Christmas 2022 promises a new reality. Elsewhere, and several kilometers above sea level, an ever-moving minister, ever concerned with time, and known to shuttle between several zones within a day following up on countless projects, now acquires the latest information.
In terms of time saving, how much time has this saved us?
Normally, if you put the preload on top first.
On a project dear to the heart of President Muhammadu Buhari, on a flight with the chief executive of Julius Berger Nigeria, Lars Richter.
But at least 1 year.
The presidential delegation arrives in Asaba, Delta State. Led by the Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari. Today is inspection day at the Second Niger Bridge.
2018, we started this project with the main work. And now, today, I would say that the project is at 83% completion.
I'm the Managing Director of Julius Berger. Welcome again, His Excellency, Honorable Minister Fashola, Honorable Minister of Labour.
With over 220 billion naira expended on this top presidential priority, engineers provide an update.
Phase 1, then there's a Phase 2A and a Phase 2.
The brand new interchange linking Owerri Onitsha Expressway is the first stop.
Phase 2B, we reconnecting here to the Owerri Expressway, and that is to Owerri, that is going to Onitsha.
Workers line the roads en route to the main attraction. Hefty in its weight, sophisticated in its composition, and fully funded by President Muhammadu Buhari's Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund, the colossal Second River Niger Bridge towers above the waters and promises to unlock the potential of a far more united nation.
Honorable Minister, here we are at the Second Niger Bridge, a bridge that's been on the drawing board for over 40 years, in manifestation now. What would you tell Nigerians about the current condition of this bridge and what can be expected of the project, even beyond the actual bridge itself?
Well, there's a very, very defining piece of infrastructure that gives Nigerians choice. So instead of one bridge that is congested, we now have two imminently to be delivered this year. And once you have choice, you have prosperity. You are not struggling. If one road is blocked, you can use another. That will bring massive efficiency to business, to travel, reduce travel time. In the main, at this moment, what you're seeing in terms of construction material is supplies driving the local economy, from sand, cement, reinforcement, lubricants. That's the first impact. In addition to that, about 3,000 people earn their living here. They've been doing so since 2018 on a daily basis. So, and we're already seeing people taking positions. Land values are going up. The industrial estate here is also expanding. So it's a life-defining infrastructure, a generational infrastructure that the Buhari administration has committed to deliver here after years of promise.
You know, beyond the 1.6-kilometer bridge, which of course is the point of much of the discussion, we understand that we have 6 lanes of expressway on both sides of this bridge.
We call them Road 2A on the Asaba side and Road 2B on the Anambra side. They are independently about 10 kilometers on one side and 7.5 kilometers on the other, to really extend that choice and free you from the main Asaba highway. But in the immediate, what we intend to do is to first connect the bridge to the Asaba highway for immediate use while that construction goes on beyond the construction schedule of the main bridge itself. So that as soon as Mr. President comes to hand over this bridge, immediately later this year it will be in use while the extension of the road link continues.
What is the expected completion date of this mega project?
Well, certainly it will be this year. It may be in late October, it may be early November, but certainly in Q4, the contracting firm are clear that this will happen. As I said earlier, there are still things that people don't see. We have to relocate some of these towers. For example, we have to shut down electricity here for about 2 weeks in order to do certain works. So, but clearly it will be done this year.
Your Excellency, you mentioned that this bridge at the highest point is about 8 stories above the water
level, and the headroom is about 5 stories for navigation.
Incredible. How deep is it under the water? How deep do those pillars actually go?
I think if I remember correctly, some were going as deep as 50, 45, 60 meters down. Incredible. In different parts based on the soil investigation and soil report. And is to understand, as the project supervisor has told us, that the piles here and the columns are sitting on each about 25 piles, separated at 2 meters each. So over an area and going 54 meters deep to the ground. So if you do 54 meters deep, you are essentially looking at over 18 stories underneath the water.
Amazing, amazing. You know, Nigerians are familiar with the fact that there's a brand new Owerri interchange that's being constructed here. For the layman who may be watching, what is the import of some of this adjoining infrastructure in terms of synergizing existing infrastructure in the zone to maximize the impact of the project on the larger southeastern geopolitical zone of the country?
I think what this does is that it connects all the other states of the southeast to this west-east link. And we must not forget that this bridge links the east and west of Nigeria. And then unlike the old bridge, which was just an east-west connection, the extended road network on both sides now help to deepen the access by other states who can directly link from their states like Imo without necessarily coming into the city of into Anambra, so they can do a bypass through and link, and from there you can reach other parts of the southeast. But more importantly, there is a south-south road, an old road, and I'm sure as development necessitates it, there might be, but that's not part of this project at this time.
Excellent. I think the intention of President Muhammadu Buhari for this zone has been made clear via cross-sectoral interventions. Of course, this is a major project, part of that. But I think one of the other areas where Nigerians may not be so familiar when it comes to works, some of the other federal expressways that we know in this region have been worked on. What are some of those where a lot of work is going on?
Okay, before I move on to those, let me also use this opportunity. It's a very important opportunity to acknowledge the collaboration and support we have received from the state governments, Delta State Government and Anambra State Government, and I must acknowledge, so has the Obi of Onitsha and the Asagba of Asaba. They have been very, very formidable stalwarts behind this project, helping us manage community issues, and it is important to place their contributions on record, and so many other people whose names I obviously cannot recall from heart. But in terms of other projects, you have the Enugu-Onitsha Highway, and you have the Enugu-Port Harcourt Highway, which connects all of the 5 states of the east at different points with the south-south. And there are roads also in Abia, I'm trying to remember the name now, Hafia, Bende, Arochukwu roads, quite a number of others that I can't recall off memory. But there is a national development, so it's not just an east or south-south or southwest or northwest. This is a national infrastructure renewal embarked upon by the Buhari administration. I dimension them in terms of a cumulative over 13,000 kilometers of road and bridge network, and now over 1,000 projects. So there is no state of Nigeria that you go to that we will not have a bridge, a road, or a housing project, or all in some states.
Now, in Abuja, the minister provides further insight.
Since the Marshall Plan, immediately after the Second World War, it has been clearly demonstrated that investment in infrastructure often has very diverse and multifaceted knock-on effect on the economy. Personally, I call it the most legitimate way to distribute money in an economy by committing to infrastructure. Infrastructure also defines the capacity for growth, competitiveness, and efficiency in any economy. So if you talk about the Second Niger Bridge as an example of spending money, the bridge alone is 206 billion naira. apart from roads 2A and 2B that link Asaba and the Owerri interchange. So in terms of what it would take to build that road, you are looking at 644,000 tons of aggregates. So that is mining work that drives the mining industry, quarries, blasting, transporting, 644,000 tons of aggregates. You're also looking at 68,000 tons of cement. So for all of those who make cement, for all of those who are in the distributorship and supply business of cement, this is the time. We're also looking at the need for 4 million cubic meters of sand. So there is dredging subcontracts here. And I'm being deliberate in identifying this. Then, just as a component of lubricants, we're looking at 19 million liters of diesel.
Incredible.
Now, the construction company doesn't do any of these businesses that I have mentioned. So they are going, as we pay them, they order these materials from within Nigeria or wherever it can be gotten. So people are benefiting from the value chain of supply, distribution, and transportation. Import, export, banks are involved in financing the orders. And so you see how money moves through the economy. And we haven't reached the stage where the materials are moved to a batching plant, converted into concrete beams, concrete bars or structures, and then come back to site for labor work, where laborers then benefit. And of course, laborers need to be nourished, workers need to be nourished. So we haven't even begun to talk about those who supply food and water on site. So that is an indicator of what is to come. When the project is finished, we go to another phase of how it impacts people's lives. It provides choice. So for a bridge, the old Niger bridge that we have had for almost 60 years now, if not more, single carriage lane bridge, it provides an alternative route to the same destinations. And whenever people have choice, in my view, they are on the road to prosperity.
Your Excellency, one of the, I think, more understated features of this project is that of the Owerri interchange. Of course, many Nigerians are concerned naturally with the bridge and even the 10.6 kilometers of 6-lane expressway on both sides. But that Owerri interchange, with its ability to facilitate the flow of traffic, not just within the immediate location, but across the region, seems to be very, very important. Can you enlighten Nigerians on exactly what the function of that interchange is and what locations ultimately it will serve in connecting?
Okay, so it's good you raised the question. There's been a focus on the Anambra side, but part of it is to redistribute traffic to other parts of the east, so that Owerri, of course, the interchange gives you the choice to go to Owerri, which is Imo State, and from there possibly all the way to Rivers. So again, it speaks to choice and giving people a right to choose routes. And whenever there is choice, there is competition, there is efficiency. And this is what this infrastructure is supposed to deliver to the Nigerian economy.
You've mentioned more than once that you're not just focused on the establishment of this new second Niger bridge, but you're also focused on the effective maintenance and in some localized spots, even the upgradation of the first Niger bridge. What can you tell Nigerians about that process, of the current status or health of the first Niger bridge and what's being done to address some of the issues there?
Okay, it's an old bridge, and one of the things that our ministry has committed to on the old Niger Bridge and many other bridges across Nigeria is to reinstate a regime of maintenance. Maintenance we have approached in a manner that suggests it is a culture, but our thinking is different. Our thesis is different. Maintenance is an economy, and it is what provides long-lasting jobs in infrastructure. The process of construction is finite. Maintenance is an infinite engagement of human capacity, skills, and so on the old River Niger Bridge now, we have a maintenance contract with an engineering firm, and they employ people, do underwater checks, do pile tests, check for bearings, check that things are normal, replace what needs to be replaced, and they employ people. So this is what is spreading now across bridges in Nigeria, from the Third Mainland Bridge in Lagos to the Isaac Boro Bridge in Port Harcourt, to the Tamburawa Bridge in Kano, the Koto Kafe Bridge in Kogi, and across the country, really. We are instituting a maintenance program. We are reawakening the old bridge inspection unit of the ministry, because we've had bridges that have been built and really nobody has paid any attention to maintaining them.
Anyone makes reference to a mega project like the Oloko Oweto Bridge, many may not be able to appreciate the impact that such a project would have, because it's of course localized in the north central, linking Benue and Nasarawa, on residents, Nigerians living in the southeast. Can you share with us the impact ultimately the Oloko Oweto Bridge would have economically and otherwise on those doing business with or living in the southeastern part of this country?
So if you were coming from the southeast to Abuja and you chose the 9th mile through Makurdi, and you would have to travel into Nasarawa from the capital through Lafia to Kefi to Mararaba into Abuja. Now, with the Oloko Oweto Bridge, you do not have to go to the state capital in Lafia anymore. You can cross the River Niger Bridge directly from Oweto side of Benue State and land in the local side of Nasarawa State, which is the Kefi area. Essentially, you would have cut off almost 4 hours of travel time if you do that. So it brings 4 hours, almost 4 hours of journey travel time saving in terms of cost and time, fuel burnt, and time for doing business, whether it is to deliver goods or transport people or provide services. And every business, every economy that can save time in delivering the same business becomes more competitive, more prosperous, and more productive. So every time I can do in quicker time, shorter time, what another nation, the distance another nation travels in the same time, if I can do it 1 hour less, 30 minutes less, almost 4 hours less, I become a richer nation by saving time, if time is money, and we all know that it is.
What would you tell Nigerians who may express some concern based on a fairly long distant history of tolling systems that may not have functioned to actually maintain the infrastructure? Are their concerns legitimate? Are their concerns being addressed?
Let us set the context. The old tolling experience of Nigeria did not happen in a civilian and democratic disposition. It happened in a military era where there was no opportunity for debate. And that is a major, major difference in what we're having to deal with now. So what are the concerns? Who will pay tolls? So we have exempted by global practice some of the people at the bottom of the pyramid, motorcycles, tricycles, all of those have been exempted from the tolling basket. We have also applied what we call the open toll system as against the closed toll system that has a more severe economic impact in how many stations or points you pay toll at. So we've addressed that. We have exempted members of the paramilitary and the military, which is global best practice. We have also ensured that as much as possible, wherever we apply a toll, there will be an alternative. So people can choose whether they want to pay the toll or whether they don't want to pay the toll. Inevitably, you will find that, of course, the choice to use the toll road means that you are probably getting a quicker throughput, and that correlates to what you're paying for.
In summation, while the Minister of Works is empowered by the Federal Highways Act to toll federal roads, the new national tolling policy was brought before the Federal Executive Council, where it was approved in August 2021. After extensive consultations with relevant stakeholders and unions, a willingness to pay survey was conducted in which pricing was formulated on the basis of prospective road user feedback and detail as follows: 150 naira for commercial buses, 200 naira for cars, 300 naira for SUVs and private buses, 500 naira for trucks and luxury buses. All bicycles, tricycles, and motorcycles are exempted from toll payment, along with diplomatic, military, and paramilitary vehicles. Residents who live close to tolling gates will receive frequent user discounts. Electronic tolling will fully replace cash tolling under policy implementation in an effort to avert corrupt practices, effectively maintain roadways, and faithfully repay investors. Only fully reconstructed and rehabilitated roads will be tolled under the policy, and only dual carriageways will be tolled under the policy, which comprises only 14% of all federal highways. Share your thoughts and constructive comments with us on the Eagle Eye Facebook and Instagram page. Next week on the program, it is a case of a promise kept after decades of delay in the housing sector following the recent handover of housing estates across the country. Join us as we go deeper into latest developments in the nation's works and housing sector as we conclude our assessment of ongoing developments with the Honorable Minister of Works and Housing. I have enjoyed this time with you, and I thank you for your viewership. I look forward to your company as I host you once again next week at this same time on this network. Until next time, may God Almighty go with you, and as eagles, may we all soar and lift our nation high as we do.